I thank the DC channel under the ownership of Sri Chandrasekhar sir for the opportunity being given to me now. In the previous class, I happened to tell you something about word formation. As I already told you, word formation plays a key role in enabling a person to write and speak in English in a mistake-free manner. Quite an interesting thing in the case of English is that a word plays an important role in the structure of a sentence. We know that sentence is a group of words which can give us complete sense. A sentence is a group of words. Then what about that word? How to form a word matters here. Because without words there is no sentence. All the 8 parts of speech come under words, we know. The interesting thing in the case of English is that one word carries different meanings in different contexts, as I already explained in my previous videos. At the same time, there is one point we have to know clearly. That is about formation of that word. What we generally think is that word is the smallest unit of what we say or what we write. But for real, there is another one that is the smallest of all the units in a sentence. The smallest unit is not a word, but the stem of the word and the group of letters that are used at the beginning of that stem or at the end of that stem. What do we call these? Those that are used at the beginning of a stem for the elongation of the meaning or for abridgment of meaning can be a prefix, and the group of letters that are used at the end of a stem can be called a suffix. Again, these prefixes and suffixes come under affixes. Then what do these prefixes and suffixes come under? This is what we have to. What is the term we can use here? The term that is suitable here is a morpheme. There is a science or study which deals with morphemes. That is what we call morphology. Morphology deals with the smallest unit of the word. That is, that morphologists say that a word consists of different morphemes. Morphemes are of two kinds. One, those letters which are formed as a group that are independently occurring in a world. Those that are independently occurring in a world can have their existence even without being used in a world. They are called free morphemes. But that is not the case with a bound morpheme. The second one to be discussed is a bound morpheme. A bound morpheme is a group of letters which cannot have its existence without being attached to the base word. It is something that cannot be independently occurring. A free morpheme can be independently occurring, whereas a bound morpheme cannot be independently occurring. A word consists of both a free morpheme and a bound morpheme wherever necessary. For expansion of meaning or for contraction of meaning or for change of part of speech. Let us take for example two words. These two words enable us to make a distinction between a word having a bound morpheme and that one which has a free morpheme. Take for example the word impenetrable. Impenetrable. Let us divide this word into three. Im plus peneter, penetre, peneter plus able. Peneter is the stem here, but it does not have its own existence because it is not independently occurring. It has to take something at its end or at its beginning, or it has to be followed and preceded immediately by some groups of letters. Let me elucidate it here. Peneter can be immediately followed by able. So peneter plus able, penetrable is meaningful. Peneter does not carry any meaning specially. But when we add able to it, it can be meaningful, penetrable. In the same way, if we add the two letters I and M, what we call im, at the beginning of that base, it is impenetrable. We can make use of it in the following sentence. Some forests are impenetrable. Some jungles are impenetrable. Impenetrable jungles are those through which we cannot make way. Here, when we add bull, able, after peneter immediately, it becomes penetrable, it can be meaningful. In the same way, its opposite word can be formed by adding I am im at the beginning of that stem. Impenetrable. That is the opposite word of penetrable. Here, peneter is a bound morpheme. Im is a bound morpheme. But able can be free morpheme. So a word is a combination of what we call morphemes. In the same way, indecipherable. Actually, decipher carries a meaning. Translate. Indecipherable means that which cannot be easily translated into ordinary words. If we divide this into three, in plus decipher plus able. Able can be used as an adjective of ability. Ability, abstract noun. Able is the adjectival form of that word. Decipher can be used as a verb. I and in. Here generally we use it as a preposition, but if we in this context it does not carry special meaning here. But when we put the three together, they can give us a clear meaning. That's something that is not able to be translated into an ordinary language. So decipher is independently occurring here. Able is independently occurring here. So this is the combination of morphemes that can form a word. The free morphemes and bound morphemes form words. But in the two words I have just put before you, we find both groups of letters being put on both the sides of the word. Take for example, indecipherable. In precedes decipher, able follows decipher immediately. Impenetrable. Their penetra is in the middle. Im precedes penetra. Able precedes immediately. Able penetra precedes able. But able follows penetra immediately. So a word is a group of such letters which can be of free morphemes and bound morphemes. Thus, words can be formed in English. I have already told you that prefixes and suffixes can form words in English. These morphemes are used both as prefixes and suffixes. Prefixes like un, a, in, dis, non, etc. give us a negative sense when they are used before stems in sentences. Take for example social. If you take this, we can form the opposite of this one by prefixing a to it, a social. In the same way, take justice, injustice. But when we find its adjectival form, it becomes just. Then we should not use in before it. We have to use un before it. Unjust, not unjust. But when we use it as a noun, justice, we have to use in, but not un. This is where we have to be clear. In the same way, honest. If you prefix a dis to it, it forms a dishonest. Entity. Cooperative. Non-cooperative is the opposite to one of that. Here, non can be used as a prefix to the adjective cooperative. Non-entity. Here, non can be used before entity. Thus, certain groups of letters which immediately precede, or which can be immediately used before the stems in certain words form their negative meaning. In the same way, if we use some groups of letters as prefixes, in some cases they mean reversal. Take for example the word control. If you prefix ded to that, it forms the reversal of the original meaning. Decontrol, control, decontrol. In the same way, courtesy, discourtesy. Lock, unlock. Buckling, unbuckling. We buckle the belt. We unbuckle the belt. We see it and we unsee it. So when we use such groups of letters as prefixes, they can be used in the meaning of reversal or deprivation. Some prefixes can be used in the sense of bad or badly. Take for example behavior. If we prefix mis to behavior, it becomes misbehavior, as all of us know. So it can give us the sense that it is equivalent to bad behavior in meaning. In the same way, functioning, malfunctioning. Administration, maladministration. Adventure, misadventure. Secular, pseudo-secular. Scientific, pseudo-scientific. Such words are used, prefixes are used in the meaning of bad or badly. Bad is used in adjectival sense and badly can be used in adverbial sense here. Next one is about a number that the prefixes indicate. See, bi, bi, biannual, bigamy. Here bi can be the prefix which indicates a number equivalent to 2. In the same way, monotheism, monogamy. Here, mono indicates only one. This is a kind of prefix that can mean numbers. In the same way, solely vacant. Solely can be used before that word vacant, indicating only one. Alone. In the same way, tricolored. Here, prefix tri is used immediately before colored an adjective to mean three. Thus, prefixes what we call morphemes can be used in the words to mean differently in different contexts. As I already told you, they can mean negation, they can be used in the sense of reversal or deprivation, they can be used to indicate disparagement, and they can be used to indicate a number. Let us deal with the remaining ones in the next class. I thank you all for having noted this, and I thank Chandrasekhar sir for the opportunity he has given me.